that's primarily about getting your glucose and insulin levels into a healthy range. Not just your glucose, although getting your glucose levels in a healthy range is extremely important. You have to go one step further because underneath that glucose, you need to know what's happening with insulin. And that's a really empowering strategy. It's sort of next level, right? So getting your glucose and insulin levels down will allow your brain to energize itself in the most clean, efficient, and reliable way possible.
Nourish, protect, and energize. And then beyond there, you said there's a level above there. So that's the sort of fundamental level. Beyond there, you go into sort of personalization, what's best for you. And is that where the sort of trial and error comes into play?
Exactly. So these principles, nourish, protect, energize, the nourish, you need to include some animal foods. The protect, you need to exclude things like refined carbohydrates and vegetable oils, which are the signature ingredients of the standard American diet or standard Western diet. And the energize is the glucose and insulin levels, which for some people, this is a level of personalization begins here at the energize piece, because if you have excellent metabolic health, and we can talk about what that means, then you may not need to eat a ketogenic diet to properly to really get those glucose and insulin levels under control and thoroughly energize your brain cells. But if you have significant metabolic damage, if you're sedentary, if you're older, if you have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, then you may need to reduce the amount of carbohydrate in your diet, even from whole foods. You may even need to go to a ketogenic level. And that's where assessing your metabolic health, understanding where you stand on the insulin resistance spectrum, the spectrum of metabolic health, that's the empowering piece. Because if you know where you stand on the insulin resistance spectrum and you can get your glucose and insulin levels into a healthy range, then you have tremendous power over your emotional, intellectual, and your physical health future.